Dent was saying, no, I'm getting there first. And I'm looking at these guys and I'm saying, wait, the guy is bleeding. You don't have to kill the guy. We don't care. We're going to get him. That's what we do.
They put the fear of God into every team that they played, and I think they won at least 7 or 8 games during the warm-ups.
They might as well just brought in Romans and had lions there to eat these people because it was over. You could see absolute fear in the quarterback, and rightly so.
Trying to lose the horses now. You better get another quarterback than that. We coming.
Do you know which team had the toughest defense in NFL history? When they struck, drives died on the spot. This is the 1985 Chicago Bears, the defense that turned fear into a strategy and changed football forever. Just crushing hits, perfect timing, and a will to dominate every snap. Stay with us. We'll show you exactly how they built a monster team, play by play. Chicago in the mid-'80s was blue-collar and proud, people who worked hard and didn't apologize for it. The Bears fit that city, physical, stubborn, and loud. There was history, monsters of the Midway, old legends. But what happened in 1985 felt different. It wasn't just one player, it was a group that decided they would not be outworked.
Sports stadium consultant Mark Gannis says this latest proposal is too little too late. And it makes more economic sense for the Bears to own and control their own stadium.
But the reality is, if they were serious about keeping the Bears, they would have come up with a much grander plan, one that included a new stadium in a location that was secured, that the Bears could control, if not outright own.
We'll see that there's an overwhelmingly compelling financial case for them to stay in Chicago.
Mayor Lori Lightfoot throwing a Hail Mary, trying to keep the Chicago Bears from moving to Arlington Heights.
The mayor today pitched a series of proposals for renovating Soldier Field, including adding a dome.
But as Fox 32's Dane Placco reports, experts say it's still unlikely that the Bears will, likely the Bears will take their ball and run for the suburbs.
Plain and simple, Soldier Field is the home of the Chicago Bears.
City leaders gathered under the iconic columns along the lakefront today, pledging to do what it takes to keep the Bears in the stadium they've called home since 1971.
We are making a compelling case for the Chicago Bears to stay Chicago.
Mayor Lightfoot presented several options for the future of Soldier Field, including one that would put a dome suspended from 4 massive columns above the current structure.
What you could not do is rest all that weight on this current structure. But you can build the dome above it and then enclose so that the building is climate controlled 365 days a year.
The other options include a scaled-back redevelopment that could be fitted with a dome at a later date. The mayor says redeveloping Soldier Field could cost between $1 and $2 billion depending on the option they pick. But she says it's still a lot cheaper for the Bears than building their own stadium.
I think that there's no possibility they're not going to consider this plan.
You had Mike Ditka's intensity, Buddy Ryan's plan, and a locker room full of guys who loved contact and hated losing. Put those pieces together, and you get something that looks less like a defense and more like a wall that 8 drives.
This is still going on. You're not together anymore.
As the Eagles worked out, Buddy Ryan casually mentioned what his plans were when the team arrived on Friday in Chicago.
Drive around Soldier Field a couple of times and honk our horns so everybody know we're not trying to sneak into town. We're coming in with horns blowing.
Buddy Ryan didn't care if people called his defense ugly. He wanted it mean. The 46 defense was his answer. Crowd the line, bring extra rushers, force quick decisions. It wasn't about trick plays. It was about making the quarterback uncomfortable on every drop.
And master of the 46.
The 46 defense, to make it very plain and to the point, is all about pressure. It is all about pressure. We're going to come at you, and we're going to hit your quarterback until you get another one in.
Trying to lose the horses now. Better get another quarterback than that. We coming.
It was a nightmare, I know, for the quarterback. First of all, you have Otis and Wilber next to each other, that quarterback's looking out of his eye. Then you got Dent on the other side. Then you got Hampton in front of you, and then the fridge, and then Steve McMichael. That's not very good.
If you blocked all of them, then who had Mike Singletary? If you picked him up, then who blocked number 45, Gary Fensick? In 1985, no one figured it out.
We're going to keep coming, and we're going to keep you guessing, and we're going to keep you thinking. We're not ducking and dodging. We're going to have fun, because the 46 defense was as physical and as nasty as you want to get.
I was a coach, but I was a fan. I mean, I watched, and I marveled just like the people in the bleachers.
It's beautiful to watch. I enjoyed every minute of it. I tell you, those guys, when they got on a roll like that, it was like a work of art.
As that season went on, it became relentless. It was everybody did it. You know, it was Mingo, it was Richard, it was Otis, it was Marshall. Marshall was, man, was he. I can still see the lick he put on Joe Ferguson up in Detroit. I'd never seen him like it. I thought he killed him.
I'm looking at Wilber and I'm looking at Otis, and those guys are just barking. Mike, man, I'm gonna kill him. Wilber, I'm gonna get that first. Dent was saying, no, I'm getting there first. And it was going on, and Hampton was saying, no, I'm getting there first. And I'm looking at these guys and I'm saying, wait. The guy is bleeding. The guy is bleeding at the mouth. The guy is bleeding at the nose.
The look overloaded one side, forced protection choices, and turned split-second reads into full-on mistakes. When the quarterback hesitates, routes aren't timed and protection breaks down. That hesitation is where turnover chances live. Buddy built an engine that created those chances snap after snap. If Buddy built the system, Mike Singletary was the engine that made it run. He wasn't loud for show. His stare and focus made the room quiet. Singletary read offenses before they moved. He played like every snap mattered more than the scoreboard. His leadership was simple: demand detail, finish tackles, own mistakes. Singletary held everyone to the same standard. That culture turned a collection of stars into a unit. When your middle linebacker locks down the center, the rest of the defense plays faster and cleaner. That's his fingerprint on the '85 Bears. At the point of attack, the Bears were ruthless. Richard Dent was a straight-up hunter, speed, hands, finish. Dan Hampton and Steve McMichael controlled gaps and absorbed double teams. Otis Wilson brought a violent edge and relentless pursuit.
And knock that ball out.
Jim McMahon is on, the quarterback for Chicago Bears. Spent 2 nights at Lake Forest Hospital for back spasms up near his neck. And he's on to try to revive the Bears offense. Vikings coming on a blitz. McMahon back to throw. Hurls it deep down the middle. Willie goes, is out there, makes the over-the-shoulder catch at the 30 and 5. Touchdown!
And it is Willie Galt taking Jeff Hayes' kickoff. Galt in full flight.
On the ground to Craig James. Caught in the backfield. And a fumble, and the Bears have it again. 95 attacks the football. Look at him right here, just stripping it away from James.
Peyton with blockers. Gonna throw. Will he go? Complete.
Here they come. And intercepted for a touchdown, the rookie Reggie Phillips.
Get their last shot here at some points. Oh, what a hit. Hipple and the ball picked up by the refrigerator. So the fridge, with a sense of the dramatic in the final regular season game, says it's fridge time.
Peyton again, here comes the reverse. Peyton takes it, digs it, throws it. Reitman has the first down inside the Dallas 10.
Little fake here. He puts the ball out and then he brings it back, puts it on his hip, starts to run, has a guy hanging on him, Lockhart hanging on him, and still gets the ball downfield to Tim Reitman.
Screen to Peyton, one-hand catch, gets a block, and Peyton, touchdown. And depending on what happens in the final 56, Peyton starts inside, goes outside, and he will score.
What a run by Walter Payton. Did he fake Hugh Green 53 out? He still has it.
White backpedals underneath his crossbar, fires the right side of the ball, tipped in the air by Hampton, picked up by Dent, spins to the end zone, touchdown! Hampton batted it away, and Dent came down with a football.
Jones the lone setback. Blitz. The ball comes loose, recovered by Jones, loose again, picked up by the Bears, Singletary. Trailing still here by a point. Peyton bounces off tacklers. Touchdown.
Dickerson the tail, backhand off Dickerson. He's hit by Singletary. Stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Mike Singletary, he read it beautifully.
When the D-line wins its battles, quarterbacks have to shorten their drops and get the ball out early. That takes timing away from the offense and turns routine plays into desperate throws. The front four set the tone every snap, win here, and the rest follows.
Sherry and Wilburn are in defensively. They give to Peyton. Peyton wants to throw it again. Nobody open. Now Peyton back to McMahon. Touchdown!
Hipple had his knee re-injured last week against Green Bay. Doctors advised against him going today. Play action on first down. Pressure from Terry. See Wilber Marshall come here and really flatten him. Oh boy, did he really hit him.
Here's Brock on third down. Chased by Dent and down. The ball is loose, and the Bears have it. This is Wilber Marshall with the ball. Marshall, if it's still alive, he's...
Pressure only matters if the second level can finish. Linebackers flowed fast. Safeties covered sideline to sideline. Corners jammed and tackled. Wilber Marshall flew downhill. Gary Fensick cleaned up plays and snagged chances, and the DBs closed hard. Their tackling wasn't flashy. It was efficient. Wrap, drive, and end the play. That reliability kept drives short and made the offense feel like it was constantly starting over. Opponents didn't just plan plays, they tried to survive. Game plans shifted to quick passes, screens, and max protection. Teams tried to hit the Bears with tempo or misdirection to neutralize the rush. Sometimes it worked for a drive. Most of the time, the Bears adjusted.
On the left is Wilber Marshall. I take the snap, I open my eyes, they're still there. I go to bed at night sometimes. I close my eyes, I break out in a sweat. They're still there. They actually hit you on their way going somewhere for a little meeting, and you happen to be in the way. You know, it's like, oh, sorry, Joe, we ran over you. You know, we weren't really interested in you anyway. You're a piece of dirt, and get out of our way. I mean, that's the way you felt.
As a quarterback and as an athlete, it was hard to really stand in there and summon up courage to keep standing in there, because no matter how good your team played, you were going to take a whipping physically.
Hey, man, this young quarterback, man, somebody knock him out for me, will you?
The source of the passing game is the quarterback. And so I think we were one of the first ones to decide that was a way to stop a passing game, is to get to the quarterback.
Damn, go get him!
Buddy Ryan was the first football coach that finally realized that the defense has the offense outnumbered.
When we would line up 8 guys across the line of scrimmage and the offense had 7, guess what? Somebody's free.
You could see when we ran 46 schemes that they couldn't pick up the blitz. I mean, you could literally see before the snap of the ball, and it was 1, 2, 3, boom! And it was awesome.
The best defense I think that I ever saw was that 85 Bear team. Pat Summerall and I did like.
The mental toll is huge. A quarterback who expects a hit every other snap throws earlier, reads faster, and makes mistakes. The Bears didn't always need a sack to win. They needed consistent pressure to unbalance a game, and they delivered it.
Mike Ditka and Buddy Ryan.
Two men who didn't always see eye to eye.
My buddy used to tell him, look, I run the defense here. You know, I was here before you got here. You didn't hire me and you can't fire me, so get out of my face. I mean, that was a little strange at first, but then we just got used to it. I mean, it happened every week.
Ryan and Ditka weren't best friends, but Buddy truly loved his players. He said little to them, though, except for 3 words that came straight from the heart.
Dumbass, ass, and head. That was a triple crown.
Buddy Ryan didn't boost any egos, but
certain games turned into statements. There were matches where the Bears simply didn't let opponents breathe. Drives stalled, punts piled up, and the scoreboard reflected a defense that ruled the field. Goal line stands felt final. Turnovers flipped games. By mid-season, people weren't shocked. They were worried. Each big stop made the next one easier. Confidence turned into a swagger grounded in preparation, and teams arriving in Chicago knew they were in for a fight. They weren't robots, they had personality. The Super Bowl Shuffle is funny and entertaining, sure, but it showed a group that had already earned the right to boast. Off the field, they were friends who enjoyed each other, and that chemistry mattered.
Shut it on down, doing it for you. We're so bad, we know we're good. Blowing your mind like we knew we would. You know we're just strutting for fun, strutting our stuff for everyone. We're not here to start no trouble, we're just here to do the Super Bowl shuffle.
Well, they call me Sweetness, and I like to dance. Running the ball is like making more mans. We had the goal since training camp to give Chicago a Super Bowl champ. And we're not doing this because we're greedy. The Bears are doing it to feed the needy. We didn't come here to look for trouble. We just come here to do the Super Bowl shuffle.
This is Speedy Willie, and I'm world class. I like running, but I love to get the pass. I practice all day and dance all night. I gotta get ready for the Sunday fight. Now I'm as smooth as a chocolate swirl. I dance a little funky, so watch me, girl. There's no one here that does it like me. My Super Bowl shuffle will set you free.
I'm Samurai Mike, I stop them cold. Part of the defense, big and bold.
When teammates trust each other, they play looser and cover for mistakes. The '85 Bears were intense when it mattered and loose when it didn't, a balance that kept them level-headed in chaos.
For trouble, I just came to do the Super Bowl shuffle.
We are the Bears, shuffling crew, shuffling on down, doing it for you. We're so bad, we know we're good, blowing your mind like we knew we would. You know we're just strutting for fun, strutting our stuff for everyone. We're not here to start no trouble, we're just here to do the Super Bowl shuffle.
Playoffs are a pressure cooker. The Bears didn't change, they sharpened. Opponents who tried trickery found out quickly it wouldn't work. The Bears had discipline, depth, and an ability to execute under pressure.
There's the ball on the ground, a big hit inside, and McGrew inside to pick it up.
Tony Eason, play action fake. He's going to go for the quick score, throwing for his tight end. Incomplete. Lynn Dawson, number 87, and he may have been injured on the play. Dawson injury. Eason over the middle to Morgan, through his hands, and he had a touchdown. Mike Singletary, the middle linebacker, may have gotten a piece of the ball. Eason to hold. It's on its way, and New England has the early lead. Peyton's fumble turns into early points for the Patriots. Going long to Galt. He's there, and it's a big gain for the Bears to the 25-yard line. This time, 3rd and long from the 13. Man likes to run. He's got his avenue. Whoa, what a hit at the 10-yard line by Ronnie LePet. Oh, my. 28-yard field goal attempt. Rookie from Georgia. He kicked in the Sugar Bowl here in this stadium. And he's got it. Down the middle. Stephen Starring. 20. 30. Stephen Starring across the 40-yard line. The Patriots, a running team, have done nothing but pass in this first quarter. And so it is. And Eason will eat it. He was sacked 6 times in the second game of the year by the Bear defense. He's down for the first time today.
By the Super Bowl, the defense had done its job. They removed the opponent's identity and forced mistakes. That's how you win titles. Not always with a single highlight, but by making the other team stop being themselves.
And Hampton, minutes left first quarter. McMahon throwing back to his tight end Moorhead. The red shirts catch up with Moorhead at the 5-yard line. Also caught a pass for a touchdown, became a folk hero in football this year. It's Perry's going to throw the ball. No, he decides he'll try to run through people, and he doesn't get very far. So they unplugged the cord on the refrigerator, and we've got a little extracurricular activity. Fuller holds, and the Bears lead 6-3. On the ground to Craig James, caught in the backfield.
The 1985 Bears didn't just win a Lombardi, they changed thinking. Coaches copied looks, defenses got meaner, and teams learned how to survive pressure. Beyond schemes, they set a standard. Play every snap with purpose, own the line, and hold each other accountable.
People were, hey man,
man, you guys keep it up. This is great. You guys are going all the way.
And Landeta stands back in his end zone. Ortego. The kick is blocked. Sean Gale, number 23, scored the touchdown.
Starts here, look, it's almost to the ground. He just dropped that ball and missed it.
Here comes the blitz again. That's Richard Dent, though.
He and Phil Simms had something going on. And the rest of the game, Richard went after him with a passion.
And down goes Simms again. Richard Dent. Simms with the wind at his back. And pressure. Ball is on the ground. Blitz again. And they're all over Phil Simms in motion.
You see their DNA in modern pressure packages and in linebackers who play like Singletary. The legacy is in fundamentals, toughness, and culture.
Bensick jumped up the middle and got to Simms. McKinnon, touchdown.
The 1985 Bears weren't a moment. They were a statement, a coach's vision, a group of players, and a city's grit combined to make a defense that still echoes through the game. Their story isn't just about sacks and stops. It's about how teamwork, toughness, and intent can change history.
And go Bears!
Please welcome wide receiver Brad Anderson, offensive lineman Tom Andrews, wide receiver Brian Baschnagel, offensive guard Kurt Becker, punter Maury Buford, kicker Kevin Butler, linebacker Brian Cabral, tight end Pat Dunsmore. Representing defensive back Dave Duerson, please welcome Alicia and Taylor Duerson. Safety Gary Fensick.
If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to Under the Helmet for more football videos. Also, don't forget to turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. Tell us below, which moment from the '85 Bears stayed with you? We'll see you in the next deep dive. Keep loving the game.